for what I understood, is that he knew from then that we are police, because we even told him that we are here with a case that he knew about. All he said in the instant when I handcuffed him was that, how are we linking him to the murder of Mr. Swart, because we know that he was not there. Then I told him that this is not the case, that you needed to be there. But any case, we're going to explain to you how you are linked at a later stage. Right now, I just need to explain your rights to you as an arrested person. And then he cooperated. He didn't give problems.
Yes. Witness A, in that paragraph 77, you say something about who made up the team that went to effect this arrest. Can you speak more to that? What are the units, if that's what they are called, the different units that were involved with this?
The units that were involved in this takedown, it was my unit, which is now organized crime detectives, because that is where I am from. And the unit that we were working with at the time, which is TRT, Tactical Response Team, that is the unit that was giving us support. That is the units that did the operation, commissioners.
Yes. You mentioned the PKTT in the statement. Do you want to speak to that?
Oh, yes. Yes, the PKTT came with the CI, the crime intelligence side of things. And then the PKTT also was now giving guidance and then giving support. As I said, now we were having different operations that we are running at the same time. It means now the PKTT as the support component was not on the ground with us as we arrested. It was us that were on the ground going to different operation to arrest. As I said, the operations were supposed to be two running at the same time, meaning now there were commanders from PKTT that were coordinating all those operations that were happening at the same time. So they were not like physically at Mlife's place, but they were overseeing the operations from a secluded place, if I may say that.
Okay, so just to be sure, where you say at approximately 12:30, the Mlife takedown team, which included members of the PKTT, traced his movements to his house in Sandhurst. That's what you're explaining there when you say they were assisting, coordinating, but not present at the scene when you effected the arrest.
That is correct. The commanders were not, that were overseeing, they were not there, they were just coordinating it from somewhere else, but they were reporting to them from time to time, and the CI was helping to locate him, to say this is where he is moving, and then this is where he is at this time, so you can effectively take down.
Yes. And then in that same paragraph, you also say we were met with resistance from Molefe and his person, who we thought was perhaps his driver or bodyguard, as they approached the gate. You haven't described any conduct which amounts to resistance in your evidence, or that I could understand as resistance. Do you want to explain that bit in the statement?
Yes, the resistance may have came in two parts. The first part of the resistance, maybe I won't be able to talk to that much because I was not part of the team. There is the team that was confronted by this particular person that I'm saying was armed with the rifle when they were doing surveillance. They were approached by this person when they reported to us to say, we are here now, we're being pointed by firearms. And this time we were at a different location waiting for them to tell us that the suspect that you're looking for is here. But now they gave us a call that, hey, we're being surrounded by a person who is armed with a firearm and he is with the suspect. And then they were also told that at some point there is a person who is a police officer, a JMPD person that came. So I was not personally confronted with that situation. It was the situation that was reported to us, but it made us that we had to rush very quickly from where we were at the time, so that situation that side could not escalate, because we didn't know what worse could happen if we didn't come as quick as we needed to. But then when we at the gate requesting entry, the resistance that we came across with was that they first didn't want to open the gate. For some time, as requesting, demanding entry and all that, they did come to the gate but did not want to open the gate up until they saw that it was a team of quite a lot of people. Maybe that is why they ended up opening, I'm thinking. So that is the resistance that I'm talking about, that I experienced.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Witness A, can you identify the person that was with Mr. Molefe that you say had a rifle and another firearm?
Is that person identified himself as Lihasa Moloi?
And continue?
Yes, Commissioner.
Were you able to establish if he is a driver or a bodyguard of Mr. Molefe?
It was difficult to establish that, because if I did ask him if are you a bodyguard to Mr. Molefe, then he said no, he's not a bodyguard to Mr. Molefe, he's just a friend. Then I asked him, why are you so heavily armed? Then he told me that he was phoned by Mr. Molefe saying that there are people that are parked next to his house and he doesn't trust them. That is why he came armed.
Okay. So at what point then did you gain entry? You mentioned something about this person driving past you into the gate in a white BMW. When did that happen?
It happened, if I remember correctly, it was because now we came down the road and we parked just next to the gate, waiting to enter at this place of Mr. Molefe. But before we could get out of the house, this BMW came rushing and it went in. And then at that time, we didn't know if Mr. Molefe was in that BMW or not. But now we were told that it was inside. So it was a confusion to us to say, is he inside or he just came in with this BMW? But now as we approached the gate, demanding to entry, when these two people came to us, we didn't know at that time that the two of the people, one was Mr. Molefe, because we didn't know him before then. It was when they were restrained that they gave them their identities to say, I am Lihasa Moloi. And then I asked him, who is this guy here. Then he said, this is Katiso Molefe. Then I said, this is the person that we're looking for.
Let me take you to the production of the licenses, Witness A. Was the license produced even in respect of the rifle?
Yes, the license of the rifle was produced, Chairperson, even though I wouldn't remember now at what stage it was produced. Was it at the gate? Because things were happening very fast. I can't remember correctly now if at first he produced only for the pistol, or he produced both. But as the operation was progressing, we had both licenses.
You know this better than I do. Do ordinary individuals like me, I won't say you and I, you are a police officer, but definitely I, do they get issued licenses for rifles?
That is a question that I asked him. They actually do. I asked him, how did you get to be issued with the rifle, this caliber license? Then he told me that he actually has a security company under his name. Even I don't know if it was operating or not, but he told me that he has got a security company. And then further, he told me that that rifle, it was for his personal safety.
Thank you, Chair. Witness A, can you then continue with once you make entry? How did Mr. Molefe identify himself to you? I'm not sure if you covered that already.
Yes, for starters, I asked to say, who is this man that is with you? Then he said, it was Gadi we are looking for. Then I went to him and I say, sir, who are you? Then he said, he is Mr. Molefe. He is Katiso Molefe. And then I said, I told him who I was. And then the reason why we were there, which was now we are arresting you for the murder of Mr. Amar Swart.
And then
he, yes, Commissioner.
No, sorry, proceed.
And then the first question was that he asked me was, how are we connecting him to that murder, because he was not there. Then I said, but then you didn't need to be there for you to be connected to a murder, but for now, we will deal with that later. Here is a warrant for your arrest that is issued by the court. And then I read it out for him, and then I gave it to him to read. I also asked him if I can explain it to in a vernacular language as to what it was saying. Then he said, no, there is no need, he understands it, then he has read it, it's fine. I can arrest him. And then I arrested him. I made him safe, I secured him, and then we made the environment or the house safe. And then we took him to the safe place, and then we told him what is going to happen in terms of searching his place. We are requested to search his place, which he consented to, he agreed, and then we wanted to search his house because he had a lot of cars. I mean, the vehicles that were parked in his yard. We asked if we can search the vehicles, then he said yes. But and then I also requested him to declare if there is anything unlawful that he would like to declare before we could search. Then he said, no, there is nothing unlawful that he needed to declare. We can search the house. And then further than that, I asked him who else was at home that he wants to tell us about. Then he said it was his kids. And but I think it was 3 guys that were working for him. The gardeners, I will call them that. They were helping him in the garden. And then they came, then we saw them, we made them safe. The kids came, we saw them, we made them safe. Then they were at the one side as we started to search.
Witness A, you say the team included the TRT. Were they in uniform?
The TRT were not in full uniform, except of their bullet vests, the bullet proofs that are clearly marked SAPS.
Yes, and so when Mr. Lehasa came out and he had a rifle on him, would he have been aware that he is dealing with, or he's going to be confronting or talking to the police? Were you properly identifiable?
Yes, he would have been aware because they were clearly visible. But other than that, I would think that the first confrontation with our teams that were in the BMW that was confronted by Molefe and with his JMPD friend. The JMPD friend did approach them and they introduced themselves to him as a police. So by then he exactly knew that this was the police operation.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. You were then dealing with the searches that you had undertaken at the house. You said that you searched the vehicles. How many vehicles did you search?
We searched the number of the vehicles that were there, commissioners.
I think it's at paragraph 80.
Paragraph 80. It was quite a number of vehicles. I can't see the number now.
I think you've got 7 in your statement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was the number of the vehicles, but what I remember is that we asked if all these vehicles are his, and then he said all of them are his. Then we requested him to give us all the vehicles that he told us that are in the kitchen. Then we went there, then we took all the vehicles for us to be able to have access to the vehicles. And then before we could start searching, we requested for him to consent to a search. And then he said yes. And then for things like cell phones and laptops, he had to sign a consent form for us, so that we can be able to search those things, or maybe to access those things in terms of downloading. And then we took that form, we read it out to him, and then still I also said, can I explain the contents of the form to you? Then he told me to say, I was a teacher, I understand English. So, but he didn't say it in a bad way. He just told me that you do not have to explain it to me in vernac. I understand the contents, so let me sign. And then he signed because I wanted him to understand it in English. If he doesn't understand, if there is a word that he doesn't understand, then I was going to explain to it the way I understood. But he said, no, there will be no need to explain it to him in vernac because he does understand English. He was a teacher. Then he signed that consent form. And then we started searching from outside in the vehicles going in the house.
Okay, can you tell us about the search in the house from paragraph 81?
Yes. The search started in his house. with him telling us what room served what purpose. There was a kitchen, there was a room just behind the kitchen that he says that room is used as an office, and it's a family office. In that room, when we searched in it, we found a lot of documents that he said they belong to his son.
What were these documents relating to?
These documents were relating to different companies. It seemed like these documents had a lot to do with Transnet, applying for tenders for Transnet, registration of companies, and then there is also a particular set of documents that belonged to a company that I mentioned yesterday, which is SK Group, which is now linked directly to the matter that we were dealing with at the time. This A group, if I can just take the commission a little back, is that it was the group, it was the company that was a buyer at a QTech company buying for Transnet. And then Molife's nephew, Lucky Molife, that we needed to arrest, was working for Transnet, holding a position of a buyer as well, meaning he will buy products for Transnet. Now we're finding these documents here, and then this SK Group was supposed to be an independent company, not linked to Molife. But now here it was at Katiso's house. And then I asked him about this document to say, why are you having these documents at your house? And he said, hey, these things have nothing to do with him, because this office is mostly used by Lucky Molife and his son, who is Tapelo Molife. So he didn't want to take ownership of the SK Group documents. But among the documents that we found there was about, I think, 2 pages that were full of signatures that you could see that this person is practicing signatures using different pens. I will say it is different pens because the fonts are not the same. The other signature will be written in a strong font, the other one will be the light font, the other one will be a red pen, but it's one signature repeated many times. So you could see that this person is practicing this signature for whatever reason. Then we asked him about, why are you having these pages that is full of signatures? Who is practicing these signatures? Then he said, hey, don't ask me about these things. I rarely visit this office. It is used by my nephew, who is like Molife, and my son.
And what did you do with all the papers that you confiscated?
We took those papers, then they were booked into the SAP 13 when he was arrested.
What is SAP 13?
The SAP 13 number, I will look for it now, commissioners. I think it is 2181. I'm just remembering it from my head. I think it was 2181. 2025.
Ms. Sigars Nube, are you not asking for a description of what the SAP 13 is?
Correct, Chair. I just want to know what document, what kind of document is it, the description of the SAP 13.
Oh, I thought you were asking the entry number.
No, what is an SAP 13?
The SAP 13 is an exhibit register book where the police will register any exhibit that are coming into the police station in relation of the cases. So for custody, it is called the 13 custody book in other terms.
Okay, and then at paragraph 82, you deal with the continuation of your search. Can you take us through that?
Yes, we continued searching, and then we found the DVR system that was controlling the CCTV cameras that were fitted in the house. But the first DVR system was found in the kitchen. And then we asked him if this DVR is the one that is controlling the whole system in this house. Then he said, according to his understanding, yes, this is the DVR that is controlling the activities here, the cameras. And then we told him that it will form the part of the things that we're going to take, because it will be subject to investigation to see the movements or what was happening here before the arrest. Because already we knew that the way things that were happening here, having seen from yesterday's testimony that Puleta was visiting him regularly, using that Mercedes-Benz Viano bus, and then we thought maybe there were also other people that we will need to pick up if maybe we're going to be allowed by him to confiscate the DVR system. He said he does not have a problem. We can have the DVR system, but he will not going to give us the PIN to the DVR because he doesn't know it. And then my question was, but this is your system and you are the owner of this house, you should know it. And he said, no, the TI people that work here, they know it. It's not him that know the PIN.
Now you say that there were two systems, one in the bedroom and one in the kitchen. Can you just tell us about that?
Yes. There were two systems, and then we needed now to be sure, because now this thing needed the person who understand IT, that wanted to assist us as to how are we going to take this thing, because if you disconnect it, you must disconnect it in a way that when you bring it back, it is not damaged. And then we requested a person from our TI support to say, hey, we've got a system here that we need to confiscate. But now the problem is, even if we can take it now, we do not have a PIN and we want to disconnect it. Can you come assist? And then that TI person really came. And then he started trying to disconnect it. And then as he arrived there checking the system, then he told us, no, this DVR system that he's seeing there is just a decoy. It is not connected to it. It is not controlling these cameras.
Which one, witness A, the one in the kitchen or the one in the bedroom?
The one in the kitchen. He says it is not working. It's there. It's made to be seen as working, but it's not controlling these cameras. And then we say, but now how can we find another DVR that is connected to this one? Then we had to go back and ask Kadiso Molefe to say, but now this DVR system is not the one that is controlling the CCTV system outside. Then he said, no, he doesn't know that. All he knows is that this DVR that is in the kitchen is the one that is controlling everything here. And then this IT person of ours, the police, said, let me see if I can assist to trace the real DVR. Then he did do his things. I don't know how he went about, but he eventually did find the DVR in the master bedroom, where Molefe sleeps now. He traced it there, then he said, oh, come, here is the DVR that controls the whole system. That one, you can leave it, because even if you take it, there's nothing on it. It's just a decoy DVR system. And then I asked him to say, but now you are not being truthful with us. Why didn't you tell us that in the room that you sleep in, there is another DVR? Maybe if you didn't know which one, was controlling your system, you could say maybe take them both because I don't know which one it is that will help you. Then he said he didn't know about the one that was in his bedroom.
Okay, and then at paragraph 83, you talk about something that transpired while you were busy searching the premises. Can you elaborate?
Yes. During that, when we were doing our operation now, because it was a huge operation, we were mostly inside because his house is huge. It's a big house. It took a long time to do a search there. And then we're getting information from the people from outside that there are people that have arrived, and then they demanding to enter. They call themselves that they're coming from DPCI, and then they want to know what was going on at Mlife's house.
Can you just tell us what is DPCI?
DPCI are known as Hawks.
Thank you.
It's an allied unit that is working with the priority crimes.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Yes. And then I was called outside to come and explain to them and tell them to say, no, this was a legit operation that was taking place at Mlife's house. And then I found these members with the members of the TRT outside, and then with also one of the members that we were working with, who was trying to explain to them to say, no, this operation is a legit police operation. And then when I came there, I told them, no, we are executing a J50 here. We are doing an arrest. Then they said, where are you guys coming from? Then I told them, my office, to say, we are coming from organized crime. We're working with the PKTT team. We're doing this operation on a certain case. Then they said, now they need details of the case that we're working on. And they wanted us to brief them on that case, which now we said, no, we cannot do that, because now, what is your interest in the case? Why should we give you the details of the case that we're working on? Because for now, you just told us that you're from DPCI. We haven't verified that. We're just taking it from face value that you're from there. But for us to give you information on the case that we're working on, I don't think that will be proper. And then we didn't give that.
Witness A, I understand that DPCI is Directorate for Priority Crimes, the Hawks. Now, in your experience, was it usual that while you are effecting arrest or engaging in your operations, you would come across the Hawks and there would be that interaction between your team and the Hawks?
No, Commissioner, it was not a usual thing. It was not a usual thing because even with me, my experience would be that you will be driving, doing a certain operation, maybe you find other teams from different components, they doing their work. You don't interfere with them. If you can see that, oh, these are police doing their work, all right, that could be proper, that's fine. You leave them at that. So it was an unusual thing.
And once your team had identified themselves as police, was it usual for the Hawks to ask for the case number and the nature of the operation?
It was very unusual. It was an odd thing to happen, because why would you want the case number or the details of the docket? What would you do with that? Let alone that this case, it was the case that was not even shared with the units that we were coming from. So for a different component to want to know the details of the case that you're working on was so unusual.
And you say that when you inquired what they were doing there, they told you that they were sent by their general to find out what was going on at the premises. Did they say who their general was?
They told us that they're being sent by their general national head, and then they didn't really say the name, but there will be only one national head of the Hawks at that time. Even if you are told that, you wouldn't then ask for the name. You would know who that person is.
When you were engaging with these people, witness A, someone must have been speaking on their behalf from the DPCI. Did you get a name, their title?
I think, if I remember correctly, the name would have been Karuga. I think so, Commissioner, but their title, I don't know if it's a captain or it's a colonel. I cannot remember correctly, because it was a fast-paced operation. I will have to be here, I will have to move to the house and come back here and see what was happening. I cannot remember their names properly from the top of my head.
Yes. Ms. Siegels, is there any way you can be of help? Not necessarily now.
Yes, Captain Kruger.
Kruger. Sorry, I didn't even pick that up. Thank you. Witness A, do you confirm, are you able to confirm what Ms. Siegels is saying, that it was Captain Kruger?
That is correct. What I was not too certain about was the title. I just forgotten.
Yes. And where you've said to the chairperson, the general, there was only one general. Was it General Libya? And I'm saying that because he's the only general I know.
That is correct. It was General Libya who was the head, the national head of DPCI at that time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Then if we go to page 27, still continuing with your evidence regarding what was transpiring between you and DPCI, you refused to give them any information. What was their attitude towards that?
Yes, when we didn't want to give them information, they didn't really want to let go or to back off, to the extent that one of their members spoke to me in Venet to say, arrest that person for interfering, meaning Captain Kruger. Why don't you arrest him for interfering? Because you guys have explained yourself to him, but still he's pestering. He's still asking questions. He wants to know more, but you told him that you're doing a formal or a non-police operation. You should just be arresting him. And then the person was saying that is one of the person that he came with.
Witness A, are you at liberty to tell us who that person is?
No, Commissioners. I think I will withhold his name at this moment, because even if I would, I know him by a nickname. Then I can give that to the evidence leader, not on this platform, if that is okay with the Commission.
Okay, you may proceed, Witness A. We are now at paragraph 84. When you were talking about the DPCI T-shirted officers, in your paragraph 83, you also mentioned the presence of a helicopter. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Then now, as I'm saying that, I was pacing around, coming to the gate, attending to these DPCI people. There was also a lawyer who also wanted to be let in there. And then there is also a person who was a friend, who introduced himself as a friend of me, who really demanded entry. He said he wants to be let in. And then the people who were controlling the situation had to call us from inside to say, let's call the detectives, and then you tell them who you are and why you want to be let in here. So I was pacing up and down. Then as I left the gate now, having addressed the DPCI guys, going back to the operation that was happening inside, we had the noise of the hoovering helicopter that was hovering so low over the house. We thought maybe it was just passing, but then it just made turns, maybe for about 10 minutes to say what was happening now. Then I came out to see what was going on, then I could see that that was a police helicopter, not SAPS, but it was a traffic helicopter that was just hovering so low over this house. And then we thought there's something really happening. And we reported that because we were now having our commanders that were in somewhere that were reporting this situation to them. This is what is happening now. Can we get protection? Because on that one, I really asked for protection to say, I think we'll have a problem here. Can we maybe have a reinforcement? I understand that we had a TRT that were giving us protection and protecting the scene and all that. But now seeing a helicopter above, you can see now you are going to be outnumbered because these people now are airborne, you are down. You need to report this. What is happening? Are we even going to take this person out of this house? And then calls were made to our commanders to say, this is what is happening now. Then they said, no, just look at the situation, see how it unfolds, then you report back to us. And then, but anyway, if you need help, we will be there. So that was happening, that's what was happening, and I just should say that the hoovering of the helicopter and then the visit by the DPCI members told us or showed us that we were dealing with a person that was of a different caliber from the suspect that we usually used to arrest. Because this was not our first arrest, this was not our first operation. We were used to operate arresting people on major cases, but this one was a different one.
Do you know who was the person that was operating the helicopter?
Yes, the person that was operating the helicopter was later identified, because now we wanted to know in the weeks that followed to say, why was that happening? Why was helicopter coming to our arrest? Were they coming there to maybe take the Mlife away from us? Is there something that we need to worry about going forward? What it is that we need to do? Then we did our investigation that we could. Then we found that the helicopter was being operated by the gentleman that introduced himself as a Chief Provincial Inspector George Raf. I cannot read this surname.
Raftopoulos.
Yes.
And did he say on whose instruction he was there?
Yes, he told us that he was coming from Gauteng traffic. Then he was requested by a certain colonel from DPCI to say he has received a complaint that there is bogus police in that address that we're in. Then he was sent to go check what was going on there.
Can I just clarify from what division is Raftopoulos?
He said he is based in Gauteng Traffic Police.
Gauteng Traffic Police. And in your statement you refer to a DPCI captain, not a colonel. Which one is the
Yes.
correct one?
That will be captain. I just now do not have the details of who did he really say that he got the request to come assist there.
Do you know if it could be the same Captain Kruger?
Yes, that's correct.
Witness, at the time of the operation, this helicopter, were you able to identify where it was from? As in, it's a police helicopter, it's a provincial, I think you say the Chief Provincial Inspector, that it came from province. Were you able to determine it's private or it's a state, one of the state agencies' helicopter?
Yes, we could, because we were doing this with the assistance with the members that were outside. They could identify that it belonged to traffic police. But when you looked at it as it was flying above, you could mistaken it as a police helicopter. Because initially I thought it was a police helicopter, like SAPS helicopter by that. But then we were told, no, this is not a police helicopter. This is a traffic helicopter, which was then confirmed by its operator, Inspector George.
Yes. And the members of the DPCI that were there, how big a number was it?
It was quite a number. I wouldn't really have a definitive number as to say there were 15 or 14, but it was quite a number because actually there was a lot of people outside the gate that came in support of Mlife. And then some did not introduce themselves as who they were. And then you would not come out of the gate and ask around who is this person and who is that person. So, but I did see this group that was wearing these easily identifiable DPCI shirts. That it was quite a group.
And were they armed? The DPCI t-shirted people?
I could not establish that from where I was standing,
Yes.
Commissioners.
Yes. How would you describe it? I'm asking whether they were armed because I want to try and establish whether you're able to describe what the situation, the atmosphere was like now that you've got a helicopter hovering. You have these many people that you're describing from the DPCI, TRT, your team and whoever else might have been? What was the atmosphere?
The atmosphere was quite tense. You could see that if this situation cannot be managed and controlled well now, anything can happen. Even not only on this point, even before we could come to this place, you could see that it was a matter of minutes that things could go out of hand, because you had a suspect who was armed and then approaching the police. Then the police are also armed. So it was just a matter of who is controlling the situation better now. So the situation was volatile from onset up until the operation was called off. There was no time where you will say, now it's safe, I can sit down, I can drink water, I can maybe have lunch. We didn't have lunch for the day, for the whole day, because you were kept on your feet, looking at the safety of this person that you are arresting, looking at the safety of yourself, looking at the safety of the family members that were there, his kids, because you didn't know who will come with what. More especially when you could see that they've got capabilities to come on air to say now you can, because when you're going to an operation, you look at the area, you say, okay, you will have your members at that corner, guarding that space, you got that small gate and all that. But now when they come airborne, how are you going to operate that? You're not even trained for that. So it changes the whole situation to say, hey, what are we faced with now?
Thank you.
And then I actually did go and ask the suspect to say, what is happening here? Then he said, I should ask you, I don't know. You see, I'm here with you. That's what he said. I'm here with you. I don't know what is happening outside.
Thank you, Witness A. Thank you, Ms. Siegel.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. Chair, I'm not sure if we should take the tea adjournment now, because I'm moving on to still part of the same topic, but it's quite a lengthy explanation from the witness.
Let's adjourn and resume at 15:15.